Think Different TV, live every Monday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hosted by me, your girl LaShia. Join me as I discuss social topics, spotlight independent artists, and share financial tips. Join the conversation. I want to hear what you have to say. Think Different TV, where minds meet. You're the reason I wake up, the reason I smile. Hello everyone. Come on in, my friends. This is going to be a really crazy episode of Think Different TV. It is the first installment of my new March Madness series for this month, and I got a lot to touch on tonight. So come on in, filter on in. Hey everyone. I see that Tone the Artist has joined. I see that Beloved Monet has joined. Hi guys, thank you for tuning in. Before I even start this show, I just want to say that a lot of the topics discussed on this episode is very, very explicit content. So please, viewer discretion is advised. Hey, Primetime has joined. How are you? Haven't spoken to you in a while. We're going to touch base very soon. Prime Nostalgia podcast is one of my things that I subscribe to on YouTube. Check them out. They talk about a lot of the old school, the nostalgic stuff that, came out when we were younger, and, Nickelodeon, Disney, like all that great stuff, movies, pop culture. And he co-hosts with Boy TV, who is Leon, who was actually on all that. I believe, I forget what season, but I remember him being the cute little kid on all that. And I was like, who was this cute little kid that just joined? Because I was so used to Keenan and Kel being on there. And then I'm like, who's this little boy? So yeah. Thank you so much. I'm trying, I'm getting there. So come on in, filter on in. I really want to thank all of you for coming on and joining this special episode of Think Different TV. I got a lot that I want to discuss and touch on tonight, and the topic is very touchy, so I'm telling you right now, viewer discretion is advised. We also have a great independent artist spotlight tonight, which is Tone the Artist at This Is Art LLC right here on IG. And our financial tip is about credit repair. And if you're looking for professionals, I have the hookup. So I want to first pour me some Euphoria water, which is one of my sponsors. Because without this show, without my sponsors, I could not do this show. Okay, guys? They have been rocking out with me from the very beginning. And I want to say welcome to all of those viewers who have been rocking out with me since the beginning, and those who are just coming in. Superfly Noise, how are you tonight? So one of the sponsors is Euphoria Water, the cleanest, healthiest water in Philly. Alkaline water with minerals, no additive, no chemicals. If you're going to hydrate the right way. Grab yourself some Euphoria water, and I have my wine glass today. I'm gonna mess up my lipstick a little bit, but yeah. And I just realized I didn't even put any mascara on. Oh my gosh, crazy me. I did all this and I didn't put any mascara on. But you know what? I might take a break and bring it out so that I can show you what kind of mascara I use. So Euphoria Water is one of the sponsors, a great guy named Mike. When you're ready to put in your order, make sure you go to Euphoria Water on IG, or you can call 267-707-8279 to place that order today. Awesome sponsor. Thank you so much. And then I also have another sponsor, Anointed Ads, award-winning graphic design and website company. He's been rocking out for 14 years, over 14 years experience, over 100 websites created. And when I say award-winning, this guy is an award-winning graphic design. I mean, he has eye-catching designs that you know that is anointed ads when you see it. And he also created the flyer for Think Different TV. Hey, Young and Gifted 24, thank you for joining in. That's Marlo. He also has a show here on IG that he is hosting. So proud of you. Keep it up. And Anointed Ads is one of those businesses that is a Black-owned business. He is really good at what he does. And when you're ready to get your project started, all you have to do is give him a call at 609-534-0237. And when you mention Think Different TV, you get 15% off of your project. So whether it be your website or your flyer, he's going to take care of it for you and take 15% off when you mention Think Different TV. Hey, Philly Fresh, what's up? What's up? I also have Only by LLC. Thank you for joining in. So that is our sponsors. Thank you so much for being sponsors and rocking out with me since the beginning. Tonight, my topic is sexual assault on males and female predators. Now, a lot of the times when we think of sexual assault or the predators, it's always gender specific. Don't y'all hold that against me. I'm just like really wound up right now. So don't hold that against me. Specific, gender specific. A lot of people believe that the sexual assault can be done on females, only by males. Some people believe that sexual assault on males can only be done to the males by males. But there is this topic where there are women predators. There are female predators, guys. It is very real. It is very serious. As a boy mom myself, I want to make sure that my son is protected at all times. Already have to deal with the dangers of him growing up as a Black man in this country. And we already know how Black men are treated in this country. But then also to know that there's also this hidden danger that is not addressed a lot of the times. And it's very heartbreaking because a lot of men, and excuse me for a moment because my camera is a little foggy, so I'm going to clean that off. A lot of men do not report sexual assault and rape because they are not taken seriously. It's not an issue that society feels is necessary to discuss. And this is the problem. So, I have my handy dandy book. So I will refer to it often because I took a lot of notes on this topic. I did a lot of research. It emotionally broke me a few times because just reading the stories, hearing the stories on YouTube via Reddit. They have a channel where you go watch Reddit questions being asked and the responses. And one of the questions asked was, sexual assault men. And if there was a female that did it, who was it? Can you talk about it? Stuff like that. And it got me a little emotional. I'm not going to lie. Because some of the stories that were revealed were very, very overwhelming. So, first off, before I even start, once again, the content discussed in this live, viewer discretion is advised. Use your discretion, whether you want to watch or not. I feel that I'm using my platform to educate. That's what I want to do. And I want you to feel like you want to be educated, and if you don't want to hear about this topic, I do not blame you. Sometimes it's very, very sore topic to discuss, but it has to be discussed. So first I'm going to start with the definition of sexual assault and rape, okay? Because I want y'all to hear it broken down. So sexual assault is any sexual violence against the wishes and without the consent of the violated person, and I like that instead of saying victim. Violated person, whether by a stranger or by an acquaintance, whether against a woman or a man, okay? A woman or a man, is a violation of the law. And consent cannot be given if the person is, 1, asleep, 2, intoxicated, unconscious, mentally challenged, or under the threat of force, or for any other reason unable to communicate willingness to participate in sexual activity. And intercourse under any of these circumstances is rape. All right? So it did not say just against women, y'all. It said against men as well. So we want to take that into account. You know, there are men out here being sexually assaulted. Now, rape, unwanted, coerced, and or forced sexual penetration. The perp may penetrate the victim's vagina, mouth, or anus, either with a body part or another object. The victim, listen, the victim may also be forced to penetrate the perp's vagina, mouth, or anus. So that second part, that sentence that I just said is referring to female perps and male violated persons. Okay? So this can happen. This is not uncommon. It happens more than we want to acknowledge. Okay? The statistic of sexual assault and rape of males is 1 in 6. They believe that the number may be higher, but because of the stigma and the unwillingness of the violated person to come forward, is skewing the numbers. So it says 1 in 6 males will experience sexual assault in their lifetime. Okay? Now, as far as perpetrators are concerned, who can be the perpetrators? Mothers. I know. Mothers are usually supposed to be the nurturers, the ones that take care of the child, the one that makes sure the child gets what they need and, you know, doesn't do damage emotionally or physically to their children or sexually. But there are mothers out there who are messed up in the head that do this to their children, whether the male be their bio son, their adopted son, or their stepson. Any older woman 18 and up, i.e. a babysitter, a relative, aunt, older cousin, a teacher, or close family friend of the family. All right? There's also date rape that happens to men by women. Okay? We already know that there are women that get roofied and men take advantage of them. It happens to men as well. Now, in a lot of the cases, men might say, oh, I was drugged, but all they did was rob me. In some cases, that may not be the case. Sometimes it may be that not only were they robbed, but they also were sexually assaulted in a way. But they may hold that piece of information back because of the stigma placed on it. Listen to me when I say this. I was watching a video on YouTube. I told you the Reddit video. And one man said a female friend that he knew and then she offered to take him home because he said he wasn't feeling well. He was feeling dizzy, not himself. She offered to take him home. And he said in the midst of her being on top of him and everything like that, he woke up and he like pushed her off. And then he was like, what are you doing? Like, I don't want this. I did not consent to you having sex with me, so you're raping me. And then she left or whatever. He went to the doctor. He didn't report it to the police officers because of fear of how he might be looked at. Because everyone like, oh, why wouldn't you want to be raped by a woman? Like, that's not something cool to say, oh, I want, like, no one wants to be raped, whether it be by a male or a female. No one wants to be raped. So I want everybody to get this out of their heads, like, oh, he must have wanted it because he got hard, or he had a physiological reaction to her stimulating him. Get this. It's going to happen because that's a physical thing. But mentally, they know that this is not right. They're being mentally traumatized, but their body is not agreeing with their mind. Saying that a man wanted it because they achieved an erection during this sexual assault, this rape, is the same as saying a woman wanted it because she became wet and her body allowed for the penetration. Anytime you are stimulated in a sexual way, it's going to trigger a physiological reaction. And that's what makes me so upset, because if it's good for the goose, it's good for the gander. You can't say that about a woman, that, oh no, just because she was wet doesn't mean she wanted it, but then say that man, because he achieved erection, he wanted it. That it doesn't fly. It doesn't fly. So it's very real. It can happen. And when he went to, and going back to the Reddit person who was talking about how he got sexually assaulted, raped by this woman, he went to the doctor to get a rape kit done, to get tested for STDs and all of these things. And usually when you come in, a doctor would ask, well, why are you in today? And he was like, because I was raped by a woman and I want to get tested for STDs. And they laughed at him. They laughed at him. Like, what? So upsetting. Okay. So there are power differentials. And power differentials is, teacher, student, officer, inmate, any type of power dynamic. Okay. So I'm going to touch on the different power differentials and talk about an example of each one. So one is teacher, student. I don't know if y'all remember it, but at one time it was this explosion of all these female teachers that was having sex with their students. And I was like, what the hell? And the language being used to describe the interaction, this rape of this child, was like, oh, teacher has an affair with her 14-year-old student. First of all, that ain't no affair. Okay, usually an affair is between two consenting adults. Okay? And that 14-year-old, 15-year-old, 16-year-old, 13, 12, whatever, they did not consent to a relationship with a teacher. You got to think about it. You're going to school to learn. You get to a point where you're trusting this adult because they're a teacher. This teacher won't do anything to me because they're a teacher. It's risk of them losing their job, losing everything. They won't risk that. But these women, whew. When I read some of these stories on lawfirms.com of the different, because I'm giving y'all the references so y'all can go check what I'm talking about. On lawfirms.com, there is a list of 25 female predators, a list who they are, where they're from, who they assaulted. They don't mention the child's name, of course, because they were a minor. How old the child was, at least. What they was charged with, how much time they served. First of all, 25 is a lot. But then come to find out, right below that, on the search engine, exactly, not to mention the ones not ever reported, but below that was a link to 500 female teachers who have sexually assaulted, raped their male students. I think some was sprinkled in female students too. So there is female on female perps and female violated persons, but right now I'm just talking about males who are the violated persons. I realize there is a very real problem with females being violated as well, but today's topic is sexual assault on males. So these jail terms that these people be getting make me so mad. I'm talking about like 5 years, suspended for 2 years, a fine, very upsetting. Actually, just recently, it was another teacher named Brittany Collops from Fort Worth, Texas, that just got sentenced to a 5-year jail term. But they wanted to make sure that people knew that she was a teacher and a mother of 3. Who freaking cares? Who freaking cares? Who cares about her home life? She destroyed a young boy. She destroyed his life. So let's stop describing everything. No, Brittany Collins of Fort Worth, Texas was charged with rape against, I don't need to know her backstory. I don't need to know her home life. I don't. So that's a power differential in there. And like I'm telling you, it's a lot of teachers out here, female teachers, that are taking advantage of the situation. One woman was caught behind the school. She was 30 at the time, I believe. She was caught behind the school with a 16-year-old boy in her car. It was attention drawn towards the car because the windows were foggy and there were people moving around in it. She also had her younger child in a car seat in the car. This happens. And then at the end, they said that the 16-year-old boy seduced this woman until she gave in to his advances. How the heck does a 16-year-old boy seduce a 30-year-old woman? How? Like, you are an adult. You are 30 years old. When I was 30 years old, I was not thinking about being with no 16-year-old boy. Like, where is your mental at? What are you thinking? And just the language that they use, it infuriates me, because it's making, they're taking this situation, this very real, serious, dangerous situation, and lightening it up to make her look good, to make her look like she was the victim. She was not the victim. That 16-year-old boy was the victim, okay? So that's one of the power differentials. I can go on and on about the teacher-student thing because it's still going on to this day. Still going on to this day. One woman, 35 years old, went to go try to marry a 16-year-old, I think it was a 16-year-old boy. She tried to marry him because she found this loophole in the state law that she could get married to him if there is a child conceived. So they got married. She had the child, but she's being charged because of the product of their affair, which was the child. That's the evidence that she has a statutory rape charge against her. "35 years old with a 16-year-old boy." We also had police officers and prisoners. Okay, a lot of people was like laughing about this. Like, how could a female CEO, rape or sexually assault an inmate? And I'm like this: if sexual assault and rape, if it is like a thing where you have to give consent and the man does not give consent and she does something to him sexually without his consent, that's sexual assault or rape. So, like, I understand that, like, people already are turned off when inmates are complaining. They're like, you did the crime, you do the time, whatever happens to you, oh well. But come on now, if a woman is saying that if a man is saying, I don't want this CEO to touch me, or like they're supposed to be doing searches and they're all grabbing their junk and touching this stuff in a sometimes it's not even a passionate sexual way. It's in a violent sexual aggressive way that they're touching these men and everything like that. Listen, they did the crime. Yeah, they're doing their time, but let them do their time without being sexually assaulted, okay? Like, it doesn't have to happen. It doesn't have to happen. And some men are in prison for very minor offenses that they're going to be getting out in like a year and stuff like that. And there's female CEOs that take advantage of the situation and sexually assault them. But then I also had to examine that we do have juvenile detention centers as well. So, according to the Daily Beast online, you can look this up. There's a school called Green Hill School. It's an all-male school. All right. It's not a school. It's a juvenile detention center. Excuse me. All-male juvenile detention center. And there was reports of the female staff being inappropriate and having inappropriate sexual relationships with these children who were in the juvenile detention center. Like, what? What? Now, just because they're wards of the state or whatever does not mean that everybody has access to their bodies and can do whatever they want to do to them. I'm sorry. It doesn't fly with me. I don't care. These female staff members were charged. But there was a lot of reports. And a lot of time it went under the radar because people, first of all, juvenile detention center, they already like, y'all probably lying because you're in a juvenile detention center and all you do is was lying when you was out and about. And, you know, it's going to be hard for us to believe you. You get what I'm saying? But then also, at the same time, this is upsetting. Also, at the same time, it's like they don't want to believe that females can be perpetrators. So they're like, and females can put it on. They get dressed up nice. They get their hair done. They make themselves look like the sweet, innocent lady that could never do anything wrong. And the jury is conflicted because they're like, could this really have happened? Are they just making up stories because they want to get these people in trouble? We don't know. But I see that they're much quicker to believe that a male is the perp than the female is the perp. I'm seeing that a lot. So, once again, female perps do exist. It's a very real thing. And I want y'all to understand that this happens. Wife-husband dynamic. Now, that's not really like a power differential, but it's just a relationship. So, wife-husband. So, there, for the longest time, people didn't believe that rape wives. They're like, wives technically property of the man once they get married. So there's a whole bunch of things with that. And because there was such a battle just to say that a man could rape his wife, can you imagine the battle that it is for someone to say that a wife raped her husband? Marital rape is real. And one story that I heard on the YouTube video from Reddit was that a man was married to his wife and they, you know, he didn't want to have kids at that moment because he's like, they still building. They don't want to, like, he's like, I don't want to have kids right now. And she purposely went off of birth control, his wife. And one night while they were drinking, just having a casual drink or whatever, he started feeling a little lightheaded. She took him up to the bedroom. And then he just remembers waking up and she was on top of him and he pushed her off. And he's like, what are you doing? I don't want to have kids. Needless to say, they got divorced because you're not going to violate me like that and then think that I'm going to stay in a relationship with you. No. It's like she took it too far. She took it way too far. She wanted what she wanted and she raped him to try to get it. Luckily, he came to in enough time to get her off of him. But this is the thing I'm talking about. He didn't feel like he could report it because, first of all, marital rape is already a taboo situation anyway, taboo issue anyway. And then how could he say I got raped by my wife? Because there's a lot of police officers is like, oh, I wish my wife would rape me. Like just stupid. A lot of times people see rape as a physical, aggressive, like I gotta hold you down and rape you. But remember, if a man can drug a woman and render her unconscious and take her home and have sex with her without her struggling and without him putting her down and trying to force her to have sex, then the same thing can happen to a man. These drugs don't just work one way. It's not like it just knocks out the girls and not the guys. Those drugs are powerful. And honestly, I don't know where they're getting them, but it needs to be something done about people being able to have access to these roofies and all this stuff, because that's a problem as well. That's going to be something else I'll talk about later on. But this is rendering the men unable to fight back. And even with them being unconscious, they still achieve a physiological reaction. Their body reacts to it because they're being stimulated sexually. But that does not mean, once again, that they wanted to have sex or that they consented to having sex. Agent artists. This is a power differential that I know a lot of people have. A lot of people that I know in the music industry world are aware of. Agent artists. Okay, well, what do you mean by that? Well, I'm gonna take a pause for the cause. Phillies are, I see you. Beth's creative gifts, I see you. Euphoria Warder has joined, I see you. How are you? Wahabi Cutie, I see you. How are you? Thank you for joining on. Let me see. I think I got. Oh, no. Thank you for coming on and joining on the live. Thank you so much for watching. I just want to take a pause for the call so y'all know that I see you guys joining in. All right. Once again, this topic is a very real and serious topic, and the content being discussed is very, it's very crazy, but very necessary to discuss. Viewer discretion is advised. I want to just say that again. Let's see. Solipsy has joined. Hello. Okay. So, agent artists. Now, we all know when you're a starving artist, when you want to get out there in the world, when you want to put your music out there, when you want to make an impact on the world using your gift, and you're hungry for it, you will do anything. And the agents know this. Some agents take advantage. Not just male agents, female agents as well. They lull you into a false sense of security. Lull, whatever that word is. Why do they even use that word? They trick you, okay, into believing that, hey, I'm the connect. I'm the person that can get you into the shows. I'm the one that can get you out here and get you moving and grooving. And while there are very few female agents that have that plug, that pull, is growing every day, but because the majority of them are male. But those female plugs, they see how hungry you good looking guy, and all this different stuff. They're going to say, I can get him to do some things. I have this show coming up. You trying to be in the show? Oh, you don't have money? No worries. We can work this out. It's like $500 to get in to actually perform. All right. But if you don't got the money, we could work it out some other type of way. Now, the man is like, I didn't really want to do it, but if this is going to get me in the door, why not? And they're more apt to do it when the woman is attractive. That's another thing that I want to touch on. The attractiveness of the woman makes them least likely a perk to the society's eyes. How? Oh, if my teacher looked like that, I wouldn't mind her raping me. What? That's so dumb. Like, that's not even, why are you saying that? Why are you saying that? That's not cool. Just because the perp is attractive does not mean that they have the right to force themselves onto someone or to sexually violate someone. Like, just because they're attractive, that gives them a pass? No. So, like I said, when it comes to agent artists, that's one of the ways. Also, a lot of artists they partake in drugs. I'm not saying all of them. I'm just saying there is a significant number of artists that partake in drugs, drinking, all that stuff, and some agents take advantage of that. They exploit that fact. They know, oh, all I do is get them vodka on the rocks and I'll be able to get them to do whatever I want them to do. You get what I'm saying? So that happens. There are female agents that take advantage of the fact that, okay, I got this artist eating out of the palm of my hand and I can get them to do stuff to me in order to get certain things. Now, some people might say that's a business transaction, but sometimes it could be that he's drugged out of his mind. He's drunk. He's laying, and remember, you cannot give consent if you're intoxicated, whether you be male or female. It doesn't matter. So that's one. Boss employee. Some people have these female bosses that just be like, I have your employment in the palm of my hand. You have to do what I tell you to do. Pretty much that. Oh, you want a day off? Oh, well, you know, have sex with me and I'll give you the day off. No, I don't want to do that. Well, if you don't do it and you take the day off anyway, I will fire you. Then how are you going to support your children? I'm going to give some examples of this in the pop culture part of the session. But yeah. So, and we also already talked about mom, son. I think I touched on that first. I got that out of the way because I don't want to talk about that no more because it makes me upset. I already talked about the language that they use. The language when they discuss the sexual assault of the males from the females. They'll say, oh, they was having an affair. Or if a young boy, 14 years old, is raped by an 18-year-old babysitter, it's just chalked up as he lost his virginity to this woman. No, he was raped by that woman. She violated him. She took his virginity, not he lost it. She stole his innocence. Come on now. Let's use the proper language to describe it and call it for what it is. Stop sugarcoating this obvious pile of shit that it is. And excuse my language, but that's exactly what it is. Let's stop sugarcoating it and call it exactly for what it is. If a older woman is sexually assaulting or raping a male, this male did not seduce her. This male did not lose his virginity to her. He was raped by her. So let's just call it for what it is, okay? This is the stuff that angers me because it's still going on in society, and society is just overlooking it and just looking the other way and just saying, oh, well, he must have wanted it. Or why wouldn't this young boy want to conquer an older woman? And a lot of times the woman gets away with it because she's an attractive woman to society standards. And everybody is just like, oh, well, you know, maybe he did want to have sex with her because she's so beautiful. No. Stop saying these 13, 14-year-old boys want to have sex with these 18, 19-year-old women. Like, they cannot consent. They're too young to consent to sexual contact with an adult. If y'all say that about a girl, y'all need to say it about these young boys as well. Y'all understand. This stuff get me heated because I'm a boy mom. And I can't believe that this stuff still, I know it happens, but I can't believe that society is still overlooking it. Stacy, darling, I see you. Thank you for joining on. Smitty Smith, I see you. Thank you for joining on. I already explained that there is a double standard when reporting these rapes to doctors, police, and peers. And your peers. Like, you can't even go to your friend and be like, yo, man, I got something serious to tell you. Can you imagine the conversation with two men sitting up there talking and like, yo, man, I gotta tell you this, man. Like, I don't want to go to the cops, but like, I was violated, man. This girl, she took advantage of me. She, held me down. She raped me while I was like intoxicated. And the guy just looking at him like, what you mean? Like, isn't that what you want? Isn't that, don't you want a girl to hold you down and have sex with you? Like, dude, not if I don't consent to it. He like, yo, stop your freaking lying, man. Get out of here with that. This is why the statistic is 1 in 6, but it could be much higher because of the stigma placed on men being able to report it and being taken seriously. Like, this happens. And if someone feels comfortable enough to come to you and report it to you and tell you, take them seriously. Like, take them seriously. We're supposed to take, when a woman makes a claim, we're supposed to take it seriously, right? We're supposed to make sure that we do our due diligence to get down to the bottom of it, whether it's true or not. So do the same for these males that are out here being violated as well. It was something that I thought of in the midst of talking, but it'll probably come back to me. I'm going to take a quick pause for the calls and mention my sponsors, because I do have to get a sip of Euphoria water real quick, because sharing us all this information is a lot. It's a lot to digest, guys, and I know that some people don't want to hear it. They don't want to believe it. They, even with me giving them facts and telling them, they're like, oh no, I still don't believe that that's possible and all this stuff. So Euphoria water, the cleanest, healthiest water in Philly, alkaline with minerals, no additives, no chemicals. All right. If you're going to hydrate the right way. Okay. The right way is to hydrate with Euphoria water. Okay. So after drinking this water, I have a glow. My skin is clearing up. My digestive system is working better. I'm able to have more energy. All right. Euphoria water, get you some. When you're ready, place your order on IG at Euphoria Water. That's UPHORIAWATER. Or you can call Mike at 267-707-8279. Place your order today. All right. Let me get another sip. That's some good water. And also, Anointed Ads, award-winning graphic design and website company, over 14 years experience, over 100 websites created. You know it's Anointed Ads because it has eye-catching designs. He created the flyer for my show, Think Different TV. He also has created other flyers for me for my financial business. And he's ready to work with you guys. When you're ready to get your project started, all you have to do is call him at 609-534-0237. Say, hey, Phil, because that's his name, Phil. Hey, Phil, I'm ready to get my project started. And when you mention Think Different TV, you get 15% off of your project. Isn't that amazing? So make sure you check out both of those businesses because they are Bob's Black-owned businesses. And also because they just do good business. So why not? Why not hit them up? Hydrate yourself with Euphoria water and get your project started, your website design, your flyer design by Anointed Ads. Just do it. All right, guys. So back to this topic at hand. All right. Now, I want to jump into, and I think this is going to wrap it up. I want to jump into the pop culture references to this very topic, and also the celebrities who have shared their experiences. Okay. So we get into the entertainment portion of this thing because it's all related to entertainment and everything like that. Curtis Careers, I see you. And earlier I saw Dexter from IntelliTravel. I saw you on here as well. I did not, purposely skip over you. I just, in the midst of talking about the topic, I missed you. I'm sorry, but Dexter from IntelliTravel, I appreciate you for jumping on tonight as well. So, like I said, there are pop culture references to this very topic: female predators and sexual assault on males. Okay, so one is boss employee. We saw it on Boomerang. Remember the movie Boomerang with Eddie Murphy? And remember Eartha Kitt, I believe, was his boss. And there was parts where she was like, I don't have any panties on, and like all this different stuff where she was making sexual advances towards Eddie Murphy. Did he want to be, did he want to be hit on by his boss? No. But we all just kind of chalked it up and like, ha 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 ha, it's so funny. But is it though? Is it? And then we had Martin. This happened twice on his show. One was with the infamous Miss Trinidad. Everybody loves Miss Trinidad, but there was a part in there where she was trying to kiss him. She was trying to get on him and everything. Like, he was like, no, like, I got a girlfriend. I got a, and there was a part where he was like, he was going to give in, but he was like, no. But we got to realize, like, in that moment, he was being sexually assaulted by a woman. She was aggressively, she was trying to kiss him without his consent. She was trying to be sexual with him without his consent. And then you got to think about it. Think about it. Really think about it. You taught this young man when he was in the 3rd grade. And now you're trying to jump his bones? Like, is there anything in you that says, you know what? He was my student many years ago. That's weird. Then, we all know the cult episode. Y'all already know. If y'all watch Martin, y'all know the cult episode. When he ran off and joined that crazy cult. And then he was like, no, I'm going to stay here forever. I think this is one of the episodes where Gina wasn't there. It was Pam, Tommy, and Cole that discovered that he was there. And I think Pam came in there to get him. I could be wrong. It's kind of fuzzy. I think Gina was in the episode, but also I think that it was just Pam. I think it was around that time where it was their whole sexual assault case between Martin Lawrence and Tisha Campbell at the time. But in this particular episode, he was in this cult. And then he was like, no, I'm going to stay here forever. I need to get away, blah, blah, blah. He ran away. I think Gina was there. He ran away. And then the lady who was the head of this cult, she disrobed and had on this sexy whatever thing and was trying to get on Martin, and he was like, no. And that's a power differential too. And churches, there are female perps that hold positions of power in churches as well, or in situations like that where you're like this, you're looked at as this leader, this leader of this cult, and so a lot of people look up to you. They value your opinion. They go to you for advice, and whether it be male or female, people that take advantage of the fact that they are that person that these people come to get this advice and get all of this. And it's just crazy, y'all. It's crazy. Man, a lot of people was like, oh, ha, 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 ha. But was it funny? Really, was it funny? Like, I'm not knocking nobody's hustle. Like, Martin's entire catalog, the whole show was amazing. But you got to think about it. Like, those two things, when you look back and you really think about it and you really like consider the situation that these people was in, that he was in, you're like, ugh. Like, you get older and you start, when I started doing my research and I started really watching, I was like, yo, this is wrong. Like, this is so wrong. Another one of my favorite shows, Jamie Foxx show. Love Jamie Foxx show. I was actually at my mom and dad's house. My brother came over. He said, yo, I got the whole 5 seasons of Jamie Foxx. You trying to watch it? So I was like, all right, whatever, you know. And I was watching it and I was digging it, and every episode was coming on back to back to back. And there's this one episode with Janet Hubert, who played the original Aunt Viv on Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. She was a guest star on Jamie Foxx show, and she was a friend of his Aunt Helen's. Now, in this episode, she's supposed to be this famous actress who has crazy pull in the industry, right? And at that time, she was teaching a class in the hotel. Now, Jamie said, man, I really wish I could get to that class because I got a part coming up in this movie. He only had one line, yo, but it's crazy. But he's like, I got this part coming up in this movie, and, you know, it would help to get some of your tips and your tricks and all this stuff like that. So she was like, well, any handsome nephew of Helen's can sure come and join my class or whatever. So, you know, but that first thing was just like, people say that all the time, you know, like, oh, you got a handsome nephew, you got a blah, 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 right? So he goes to the class, and after the class, she's just like, oh, Jamie, you have a lot of talent, you know, and you say you have this part coming up in this movie. I really want to help you. And he still didn't tell her that he only had one line, but whatever, you know. But he was like, yeah, she was like, if you need help going over your lines, you can come up to my hotel room and we can go over the lines. So he's like, okay, cool. He goes up there and he knocks on the door and she says, come in. And then he goes in and she comes out of the restroom and she's wearing this negligee, you know, and he's like, oh, okay, thought we was gonna go through some lines, you know, like, I don't know what's going on right now. And she proceeds to try to get him to do stuff. She even ripped his shirt open. And he was like, no, I'm not trying to do that. Like, I don't care. Like, you know, I don't care about the fact that you got pool and all this stuff. Like, I'm not about to do that or whatever. Like, you know, and he was serious about it. And like, I'm telling y'all, it happens. And at that moment, I was laughing and stuff like that. But then, because like, he found a way to make it comedic. But that situation happens all the time in the industry, whether the be a male or a female, and rather the violated persons be male or female. It's not gender specific. Sexual assault cannot just be done on women. All right? Sexual assault cannot just be done by males. It can also be the other way around, and it's very prevalent in this